General Ziaur Rahman is already in power. By this time, Major Farooq and Major Abdul Rashid, they are still in exile. The thing to be noted is that they are still serving members of Bangladesh Army. They are in service, they are the acting personals of Bangladesh Army, but they are just in exile, they are staying outside the Bangladesh. So once they know that everything is back to normal in Bangladesh politics and General Ziaur Rahman is in power, now by this time they wanted to come back. But on the other side, General Ziaur Rahman doesn't want them to come back to Bangladesh. Not only Major Farooq and Major Abdul Rashid, but the entire gang who was involved in the assassination of Sheikh Mujib, including Major Shariful Haq Dalem, Major Noor, Huda, all of them. So both the majors, they tried to be in contact with the Bangladesh government in order to come back, but they did not hear anything from Bangladesh government. There was no response at all. All of their requests were turned down. Soon they found out that both of them are already dropped from Bangladesh army, and now they are in the same position as Dalem, Noor and Huda, because those were the retired army officers. Both of them, they wrote to General Ziaur Rahman, and they also declared loyalty and allegiance with General Ziaur Rahman's government, but still there was no response from the government. So they gave a deadline that if they did not hear anything from the Bangladesh government, they would just return without any notification. At a point, Major Abdul Rashid, he is talking to the author. He's talking to the author, and then he says that we felt ourselves completely free to do all things possible to overthrow the government and eliminate General Zia. Now they even started thinking to eliminate Zia. Both of them, they were not at one place. They were in both different countries. I think one of them was in Libya. Major Abdul Rashid was in Libya, while Farooq was somewhere else, and they were trying to be in contact, and they were also trying to be in contact with the other members of the gang, including the Dalem, Huda and all of them. So they were planning that when and how they should return back to Bangladesh and what should they do once they are there. There was another measure taken by General Zia. After the Sipahi mutiny, he had split the Bengal Lancers using half its strength, some 500 men and 14 tanks, to create a new regiment, the 1st Bengal Cavalry. Zia then transferred both units out of the capital. He divided this unit and this regiment into two to decrease their power, and he sent half of them to another place in Bogra. He thought that if they're out of the capital, it would be less harmful for him, because General Ziaur Rahman knew that although Major Farooq and Rashid are outside the country, but they still have influence on their regiments, on the lancers, so they can be used against his government. So he was just trying to decrease their power and were trying to make them ineffective if there is any mutiny once again. On the other side, both the majors, they were traveling all around the globe, and they were trying to be in contact with the rest of the members of the gang who were all scattered around in different countries, and they were planning that how they should return to Bangladesh. Major Abdul Rashid, he was the first one to return to Dhaka. So when he returned back to Dhaka, he was in Bangkok, and he came from Bangkok to Dhaka. When he arrived there, he met some family members, also some family members of Farooq, because they were somehow relatives. And then there were people from the intelligence there on the airport. And then after meeting everyone and all those things, Rashid went to his private residence. He stayed there. Later, he also met, there was a meeting arranged between Major Abdul Rashid and General Ziaur Rahman. So he met General Ziaur Rahman, they talked about several things, and then General Ziaur Rahman asked him about Farooq, that where is Farooq. So he tried to change the topic, or he said that he doesn't know much about him, but when General Ziaur Rahman revealed that he has a lot of information from different sources, that Farooq is here and the others are there and they are planning something, so he was also quite alarmed. Major Rashid was also quite alarmed, but he didn't talk much about it, and then he thought that they really need to wait for a suitable time, because by now their plan cannot really work, because General Ziaur Rahman already have quite a lot of information about their movement and whatever they are planning. On the other hand, Major Farouk is in Singapore and now he is planning to come back to Bangladesh as well. So Farouk's return also went exactly as planned, and despite the prior information, despite the Zia's prior knowledge of his whereabouts or his presence in Singapore, he was given a tremendous welcome when he returned, and there were around 2,000 troops who came there to welcome him, not only from his unit but also from other units. Farouk was in Dhaka, and according to author, I would read it from here. Trouble finally erupted on the 27th of April when the NCOs and sepoys of Bengal Lancers sent message to General Zia, which in effect said, "Send Farouk to visit us in Bogra, or we will come to Dhaka with our tanks." So now the situation is that the NCOs and sepoys of Lancers who were sent to Bogra, as I said earlier that the unit was divided into two, and they were sent to, half of them were sent to Bogra, and now the NCOs and sepoys of Lancers are sending message to the head of state, to the general, to the chief of army staff, that send Major Farouk to Bogra, or else we will come there with our tanks. So you can see how the chain of command is working there, that just the ordinary NCOs or sepoys are in a way threatening the head of state. They knew, and General Ziaur Rahman also knew, that Farouk had a great influence on his people, on his unit, and on Lancers. So he was also playing quite safe in this regard. General Ziaur Rahman decided to send Farouk to Bogra to pacify the Lancers. So when Farouk reached Bogra, he was welcomed by his troops, and he was welcomed like a general is welcomed. Although he was just a lieutenant colonel by that time, they started talking that Bogra is not a place for Lancers, they should go to Dhaka. And Major Farouk, by now he is Lieutenant Colonel Farouk, he also wanted to take his troops and tanks to Dhaka. But at that time someone suggested him that better not to go for it, because it may put his people's life on risk and there would be killings and bloodshed. So and his people have already suffered quite a lot, so he should not do that. Farouk was not the person to listen to anyone, but then for his own reasons, according to author, for his own reasons he decided to stay put, and he did not go. On the other side, on the evening of 27th, Major Abdur Rashid, he discovered that he is already a prisoner at his home. His house was guarded by military and he was not able to go anywhere. Soon after that, Rashid was taken from his home to the army headquarters. Farouk was still in Bogra and he was with his troops, those who were willing to fight still against the government and still against General Zia and infantry. But he was not really in position to confront the infantry. So at first he was holding his troops and he was really willing to fight, but later on he realized that he is running out of luck and it's not the time for him to confront the infantry or to confront General Ziaur Rahman. So Major Farouk decided to leave, and this time, once again, this was the second time he was leaving his troops behind and he was going abroad. Farouk told the troops he had to go to avoid bloodshed, but they knew he was dumping them for the second time and they didn't like it. Some even accused him of selling out to the generals to get an ambassador's job. The troops of Lancers knew that Farouk and Rashid would leave the country, but they would be the one who would suffer, and they would be the one who would be tried for mutiny or for the rebellion against General Zia's government. According to the author, the attempted coup ended in disaster. Many of the Lancers were tried and they were executed. According to author, some were tried and hanged for mutiny. Others were sent to jail. 2 months later, on the 15th of July 1976, General Zia disbanded the Bengal Lancers, erasing one of the most famous cavalry names from the military list. At this point, General Zia even disbanded the entire unit. He knew that they can be once again dangerous in future for him. Farouk and Rashid refused to accept diplomatic positions, but other members of the gang, including Dalim, Noor, and many others. They accepted several positions in the Foreign Service. On 25th September 1977, General Ziaur Rahman visited Cairo to meet President Anwar Sadat. On his agenda, it was Bangladesh's contest against Japan in the United Nations for a seat. On the other hand, President Anwar Sadat had something to share with General Ziaur Rahman, and which can also be called a matter of life and death. Anwar Sadat told General Ziaur Rahman that Egyptian intelligence uncovered a plot by left wing against General Ziaur Rahman's government, and it also involves the assassination of General Ziaur Rahman. Not only that, but also the top brass of Bangladesh military. According to Egyptian intelligence, the conspirators are NCOs and Sipais, and they have some collaboration with JST and the Communist Party. After the revolution or after the rebellion, they would proclaim Marxist revolutionary government. This intelligence report in a way saved General Zia's life when he returned back to Dhaka, and next day he had to attend a ceremony where he was the chief guest, and that was a ceremony during which he was to be assassinated along with other senior military officers. When he returned back to Dhaka, he wrote an apology to the management of that ceremony that he would not be able to attend the ceremony. He did not give any reason for it, and he did not explain anything. Mutineers, when they came to know that General Zia is not attending, and they were all ready to act and to take action against the government, they had no other way to postpone it. So somehow they started the rebellion within the units. They started killing the senior officers, and it started with killing of the two senior officers. Both were the lieutenants. The mutiny against General Zia had already started within few days of this incident. I'm not going in much details, but there were several units who were involved. There were mostly the NCOs and Sipais who were involved. I would quote one thing by the author, that he's saying that previously General Zia had been proclaimed the hero. This time the Sipais called him a traitor and wanted his elimination. So now everything has turned 180 degree, and those soldiers, those Sipais who made General Ziaur Rahman head of the state and martial administrator and declared him a hero, now all those are declaring him a traitor and want his elimination. Different units were confronting each other. They were in front of each other, fighting with each other, pro-government forces and anti-government forces. And in short, General Zia was once again lucky enough to overcome this mutiny. Several people from different units, those who got killed within this insurgency. Once he has taken over everything and he has captured all the mutineers, he received a congratulation message from President Anwar Sadat. At one point, General Zia also wanted to disband Bangladesh Air Force because of their involvement in the mutiny. He just wanted to replace it with Bangladesh Army Aviation Wing. But somehow he couldn't do that. Maybe it was not very practical. Another thing quite important is that Zia took the opportunity to reshuffle the army command. He sent two most senior officers of army outside the Dhaka. One of them was General Mir Shaukat. He posted him in Jessore. He was a general, and another one was General Manzoor. General Manzoor is the same person who plotted General Zia's assassination 3 years after this incident in Chittagong. So General Manzoor was also posted to Chittagong. There, after 3 years, General Zia would be killed in result of his plan. After taking over the mutineers and the mutiny, General Zia formed the military courts, and he tried thousands of people of Bangladesh Army, those who were involved in the mutiny. He formed the military courts, and court martial was done by that military court of thousands of the NCOs and sepoys, and including some officers. They were all executed. They were thousands in number. These were a few of the mutinies and rebellions against General Zia's government. There are few more to come. In the next part, we'll talk about the assassination of General Ziaur Rahman, and that would be the end of another chapter of Bangladesh's history.